I'll tell you one thing that
Hey, when my girls start to trip and hate before a skate, I call Sirius XM 98. Yeah, Thursday, Foxxhole 7 to 9 to talk to ZoWilliams before I lose my mind. Yeah, I need advice on my relationship, cause I'm about to start breaking. I can't take it no more. I got to holler at Zo, the relationship pro. Before I pack up and go, I got my foot out the door, and then for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason. I got one foot out the door, and then for leaving. But first, let me holler at Zo, the voice of reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, ZoWilliams Rising, the leader of the free world in radio talk, the hottest talk you're ever gonna find on relationships, man. Last week's topic was crazy, and we continue the 90s Bulls-like run. That's what somebody said on Twitter. Somebody was like, man, you're on a run like the 90s Bulls. You get 72-10 right now. We're going to keep that streak alive. Tonight's topic. The only place you could hear this kind of stuff, man, because we're not afraid to do it. We're not afraid to tackle the difficult topic subject matter. I need you to get to your phone lines right now, because if you're in a situation and you need help, we got guests on that's going to share. They're going to have testimony to edify. We've got people, professionals that can actually help with your situation. We've got resource numbers. We got all kind of stuff. Tonight's topic is definitely a heater. We want to give you perspective. We want to give you clarity. ZoWilliams, Voice of Reason, Foxxhole Radio, Sirius XM 98. Get ready. 855-369-9898. That's your number to dial. 855-369-9898. Tonight's topic. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look into violence that seems to permeate all of our relationships. This is going to be crazy. Let me say it again. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence in our relationships. We're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about violence in teen dating relationships. We're going to talk about violence with newlyweds. We're going to talk about violence with married people, violence with people that ain't married. We're going to talk about domestic violence. We're going to talk about Katie Holmes and what's that boy, Tom Cruise. We're going to talk about Cuba Gooding. Hey, man, it's crazy. Violence is everywhere. And we're going to talk about violence in our relationship. Is relationship a contact sport? 855-369-9898. If you're going through it, call us right now. We're going to get to your lines, because you know how these phone lines do. We're going to get to you. We're going to talk to you. We got help. Tonight's the night. Great topic. I'll be back in 2.2. Taking a break. Holla in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, ZoWilliams Rising, the voice of reason, has returned to the Foxxhole with yet another heater, hot rock lava. You know what we do, man. We push the envelope. We want to learn. We want to grow as a community. We want to, learn from our mistakes. And believe you me, ZoWilliams is flawed and jacked up as the rest of you. And I've been through hell and high water right along with you. And that's why I open up my heart and my platform here, so that we can all learn together, grow together as a community. So it's very important that you guys understand this. So tonight's topic is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence in our relationships. I'm going to hit you upside the dome piece with questions. Get to your phone lines. 855-369-9898. That's 855-FOX-9898. Which is easier for a relationship or marriage to recover from? Infidelity or violence? 855-369-9898. True or false? Under no circumstances, regardless of the situation, regardless of whatever, is a man ever allowed to hit a woman? 855-369-9898. We know men are statistically more violent than women, but how responsible are some women for the violence that they experience in their relationship? Are women responsible at all? I mean, because just think about it this way. Women are better communicators. It's already proven that women are better verbal abusers. That's what, hey, I didn't do it. Go to Psychology Today. There's an article there on intimate terrorism, and it talks about how women's words penetrate deeper than men's do. And if men are human, just like all other human beings, don't we have a limit? If we have a limit, does that limit not apply when it comes to a violent retaliation towards women who have broken them down emotionally? I'm just saying. 855-369-9898. It seems like a double standard to me. Somebody call me and tell me if you disagree. 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Can a relationship or marriage, and this is a big one, can a relationship or marriage totally heal from and actually get better after suffering from acts of domestic violence? Can two people who truly love each other learn from whatever skills or tools they lacked? Can two people pull it back together and rebuild, almost like the ashes of the phoenix, and be reborn after such a traumatic situation? And if so, how can they do it? 855-369-9898. If you're just tuning in, tonight's topic, you know I'm reading questions, you know how I do. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence in our relationships. Here's a big one, because they got different levels. I say America, when it comes to relationships, America is no different than what this author said who wrote a book called Religious Literacy, right? In his book, I forgot the brother's name, Stephen Profil, something like that, Religious Literacy. He said America is the most religiously diverse country in the world, yet it is the most religiously ignorant. Most people don't know 5, 6, 7 in-depth questions or answers to these questions about their religion. I believe Americans are the same way when it comes to domestic violence. Why? Well, OJ came out and created a benchmark of what domestic violence is. So now anything that remotely looks like OJ is put into one category. You know, abuser, batterer, man alert, wild man on a rampage, right? But at the end of the day, we start looking at different areas of domestic abuse, and what do we see? We see that there's verbal abuse, emotional abuse. We see a lot of stuff, and now we're seeing men being abused just like women were being abused. Not nearly at the rate, not nearly with the same impact. It's very deep. How do we know the difference? Are there different levels, different tiers? Is everybody an intimate terrorist? Or is there something called common couple violence? And what's the difference between common couple violence and intimate partner violence? IPV versus CCV versus IT, intimate terrorism. I don't know. But I need your answers. I need your information. Tonight's topic, again, crazy. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence. Our phone lines they're on fire right now. I already know how we get down. If everybody has a limit, a breaking point, why do some women feel that they can push a man's buttons past the brink without retaliation? Somebody get to your phone lines, 855-369-9898. I'm telling you, I'm going crazy here with the questions. How common is violence in our everyday relationships? Very common or remotely so? I believe we got a superstition that thinks, oh, happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after is with a fight. And sometimes people only got the tools they got. And once they reach the limit of the effectiveness of those tools, then they might result to violence. Does that make them evil, O.J. Simpson-like intimate terrorists? I don't know. Does that make them psycho killers? I don't know. 855-369-9898. Who's calling in right now? Who's calling in? I see the phone lines. It's crazy. Although men are physically stronger than women, are women guilty of instigating more violence in their relationships? I still got questions, but I'm not going to ask anymore. What I'm going to do now is bring in my special guest, and then we're going to phone calls. I have a special guest, good friend, just met him a little while ago, had a nice conversation with the brother, very deep Southern brother, educated. His name is Larry Grover Washington. He is an empowered man who has a desire to empower others. His area of expertise is in mentoring. He is an avid mentor of youth ages 10 to 15, and his primary purpose is to assist them so that they can discover their talents and gifts. This brother right here is an entrepreneur and currently serves as the LPCMS of Solutions Health and Rehabilitation, where he conducts workshop seminars on male-female mentoring, stress and pain management, and community wellness. The brother is deep as Atlantis. He's going to tell us how we can deal with violence in our relationships. Larry, I want to welcome you to the Voice of Reason, man. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to live up to everything that you said. Thank you. So I'm deeply humbled.
Oh, man, let's get active. How pervasive is violence in our relationships?
Well, I'd say it is very pervasive. The idea is that from my background, it's 95% male, 5% female. And the demarcation line, I do the battering intervention and prevention groups, and the demarcation line between a man hitting a woman and a woman hitting a man is, and I asked all the guys in the group, I said, how many of you were hit by a woman and you feared for your life unless she had a deadly weapon? Raise your hand. And nobody raises their hand. Mm-hmm. Now, we can push a woman, she can hit her head on something, and she's dead. Mm-hmm. So the difference between a man hitting a woman and a woman hitting a man, and why it is so different, is that E equals MC square. When we push them and hit them, we can kill them. It's very seldom that a woman can kill a man with one blow, unless she has a deadly weapon. So like I said, the demarcation line is men hit women, we can kill them. Women hit men is very unlikely. Guy's going to get his ego bruised, going to get slapped, going to get scratched. But I don't know of a woman that has ever hit a man and killed him. And we know of plenty of men that have pushed or hit women and killed them. Like I said, it's just basic physics.
And so this reminds me of the research that I was doing, and they have something called the CTS, the Conflict Tactics Survey. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not. But I remember hearing you talking about the like that men were being emotionally abused and maybe being.
Well, no, the Conflict Tactics Survey is a very controversial tool, but it's the only tool that they have really to gauge this stuff. And what they've found is that women in general are more violent than men. But the only controversy to it is exactly what you just pointed out, and that's impact. Men, you know, we have a greater, and when we hit women, we break them. When they hit us, we can absorb it. And I think that's what the CTS explains. The Conflict Tactics Survey is what it's called. But what they've found is the underlining violence that happens in relationship is typically instigated by women. And men have to find some way to absorb whatever little things that they do. If it's slapping, pushing, punching, kicking, we're to absorb that. And women, in my opinion, maybe you can help me with this, Larry, because a lot of men are on the line right now, and I'm sure they're going to get ready to share their stories. A lot of women have this idea that we get to push you as far as you can go, and you are not to respond. How do you deal with that?
Well, I'd like to respectfully challenge that Conflict Tactics Survey and suggest that you get some literature from some feminists and from black feminists. It's kind of like when we, as a movement, as black people, that was our movement, civil rights. Mm-hmm. Domestic violence is women's movement. I'm a man. I support women. At the end of the day, they get their butts kicked. So I would suggest that you go to women and talk to them about what makes a woman feel safe. Just like your white folks, when they came to help us, they had to come to us and ask us about what made us feel safe and let us take the lead because it was our movement. Same thing with domestic violence. This was a women's movement. So I suggest that we find out what makes women safe from women and do what they do, and so the studies that they have, and that I would suggest go to the Office of Violence Against Women. They've got lots of information on the studies. The idea is, with the groups I do, the old idea was 60% of men in the general population use physical violence, 40% use emotional violence. After men go through a 24-week program and are arrested, again, 6% of the men use violence, but now the violence is maybe emotional.
Okay, so wait, Larry, this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to take a quick break. That's good information.
Go ahead.
But what we're about to do, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want you to interface and engage with the callers. They're online. It's a whole bunch of them. We got full lines. Let's get active. ZoWilliams, voice of reason. Is relationship a contact sport? Let's go deeper, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking a quick break, but when I return, more information. Holla in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Heavy topic. Go on, let Mary ride a little bit while I read off some of the questions. If you're just tuning in, tonight's topic is relationship a contact sport? I mean, is violence somehow inherent in our intimate interactions? I heard one doctor I always hit him with this quote. This guy always says it, or I always say this quote. He said, "We reserve our worst behavior for those we love the most." Is relationship a contact sport? Is it impossible to get away from the drama? Well, let's go deeper tonight. I have a special guest. His name is Larry Grover Washington. Good man. If you're just tuning in, listen very carefully. He's going to drop some heavy information. We got callers online, Larry, and I do want you to interface with them. Are you down with that?
Yes, so let me preface it with one quick thing that really helped me to pull in and understand domestic violence. Mm-hmm. It came to me that some white folks think black folks are dumb and stupid. Some men think women are dumb and stupid. Some white folks think black folks create problems and blame white folks. Some men think women create problems and blame men. Mm-hmm. Some white folks see black folks as only sexual. Some men see women as only sexual. So when I started looking at it like that, I said, hey, man, the women want the same thing out of life that we do as men. And that helped me to understand everybody wants the same thing out of life. One gender doesn't want anything any different. Women want respect just like we do. And when I look at it like that and frame it like that, that put it in a way where I understood where women were coming from.
Absolutely. 855-369-9898. What is the difference between common couple violence, intimate partner violence, and intimate terrorism? And now, let's look at... Wait, hold on, Larry, because I want to bring in these callers so you can interface.
Okay, go ahead.
Right?
Go ahead.
All right. So, but before I do that, I want to break down the types of violence. We have situational couple violence. This form of violence is not generally reflective of a need of control or a need to control the other partner. It usually arises out of an argument, rarely escalates over time, and is more likely to be mutual. Neither the individual nor the partner is violent and controlling. Situational couple violence. Then you have intimate terrorism. Occurs when the individual tries to control the other partner. While violence is the most common method of control in this form of spousal abuse, other non-physical forms, e.g. verbal abuse, financial abuse, holding on to the money strings, psychological abuse are usually involved. Then you have violent resistance, used to describe relationships where the partner who is non-controlling is using violence to resist attempts at control from a violent or controlling partner. This form of violence has been typically used in courts to defend a woman's use of force in her relationship with an abusive husband. Number 4, mutual violent control. Both partners are violent and controlling. This is also the most rare form of intimate partner violence. This is the research that we've pulled up. I'm sure there's even more. We've got callers, and I want my brother Larry Grover Washington to participate with us. We got Greg from Seattle. You're in the building. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Let's go.
Hey, brothers. What's happening, man? There was a lot of questions and a lot of different scenarios to talk about. Yeah. Now, in regards to can a relationship survive? Yeah, it can survive, but it'll never be the same. If a man hits a woman. And what I was thinking, or what I've been going through, or what I've gone through for the past 20-some years, is that in a situation where a man is violent towards a woman, or a woman is violent towards a man, no matter what that argument is about, no matter what situation brought about the violence or the argument, as soon as one or the other loses their cool, they lose footing in the argument, and they lose the argument. If a man loses control, starts to roar, starts to yell at the top of his voice, and just loses control, or even gets violent, he loses. No matter how valid his point is, or if the female is the abuser, no matter how secure her situation or her point of view is, she will lose once they lose control of their emotions, and it becomes violent. And if a relationship can it last, it might last, but there'll be no respect in it, because there's just too much violence, too much non-trusting of the other party in that relationship.
Good point. Thanks for the call. Who do we have next? Isaiah from Cleveland. You're on the Voice of Reason. Talk to us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. Let's see, because I was on hold for a minute. What I wanted to talk about was respect. I don't think men or women, they respect each other enough. Like if I can get it out right, I feel like they don't respect each other enough to sit down and take the patience and time to actually talk shit out, because a lot of times most of these people, they get out of whack over the most. They have arguments over the most dumbest shit that can be sat down and talked about, and just come out with a compromise. And all compromises aren't good, but a compromise is needed though. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it.
Wow. Hey, I appreciate the call, Isaiah. Thanks, man. We got Dante, West Virginia, in the building. Let's go.
Hey, how you doing, Zo?
I'm good, man.
I'm a 2-time combat vet, right? And I've been diagnosed with combat-related post-traumatic stress disorder. At any given time, I can act out. There's no cause for a man to hit a woman or a woman hit a man. I'm on my second marriage. My first marriage was abusive.
Did you abuse her or did she abuse you?
She abused me because she know I don't hit women. You see, but the thing is, I had to make a decision. She had pointed a gun at me when I had just got back from war, and my mind was telling me that she's the enemy to hurt her because she could kill me. But how I was raised up, men don't hit women. I left, and I had to make that decision that, after 7 years of being married, it was time for us to split. Because I didn't want my children to see me, my sons to see me beating on a woman and think that was good.
Wow. Good. Hey, let me just say this, man. I really appreciate the call. Thank you very much. That was awesome. Let me just go back to Larry. Larry.
Yes.
I have to play devil's advocate. I have to play a little devil's advocate here.
Sure.
This dude is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and he is trained. He's a combat soldier. He's trained to kill people. She pulls a gun on him. He found some type of divine source inside of himself to turn off his military conditioning to retaliate. He said he was raised a certain way. Just listen to this, though, man.
Okay.
Because I understand the feminist angle and all of that, but women are humans too, just like men are. And we got to stop having these imbalanced expectations for men. And we got to start putting some of the responsibility back on women too. Because there are women out there who, just like the dude said, he just gave you a perfect example. His woman knew he was raised to not hit women, so that became a coupon for her to continuously push him. And this dude is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder? Come on now. And that's an extreme situation. Imagine the middle line situations, Larry. Let's talk about it.
Well, I just came from a training sponsored by the Family Place. The Family Place has an excellent website with excellent information on it. And also another website I'd like to point out for information is IDVAC, the Institute for Domestic Violence in the African American Community. First of all, the veterans have the lowest incidence of domestic violence against women. Common consciousness would make it sound like that they are the ones who hurt their partners, but statistics show they are not the perpetrators of violence against women. They're not. Sometimes it'll be sensational, but they're not the ones. And the thing is, sure, women are responsible for what they do. However, like I said, the demarcation line is that if a woman emotionally abuses a man, she, and even if she hits him, it's not lethal. I mean, it's just, and if a man abuses a woman, then it is lethal. And it actually comes down to male privilege, kind of like white privilege. That's why I keep going back to racism so that we can understand as a people what white folks do to us has nothing to do with white folks being angry. They do it because they feel like they're privileged. What men do to women has to do with male privilege, just like what men do to men. And my point is that everything we do to women was done to us as boys. We were told to shut up. Ain't no back talk in the male world. You know, there's no feeling. We don't care about people being hurt. So everything that we do to women was done to us as boys. And I guarantee you can pick any situation, a man who's abusive, he had a mean daddy, mean boys in the community. Male violence is almost invisible.
No, and you're absolutely right. We got to take another quick break, and that's a great point Larry brings up, though. That is a great point. The way boys are conditioned to treat each other, we carry that over into our relationships with women. And that's a great point. You know, I love it. If you're just tuning in, get to your phone lines, 855-369-9898. ZoWilliams has to take a quick break, but tonight's topic is relationship, a contact sport, a deeper look at violence in our relationships. We're having a great time. Relationship conflict. If strength among men and women were relatively equal, would men fight less or would women fight more with each other? If we were had the same strength, would women be smacking the smack out of us, kicking our butts? Would we fight them more? Would we fight them less? Somebody call me at 855-369-9898. I'm taking a quick break. Phone lines are open. We're coming back to you callers. It's about to be crazy. I got another special guest getting ready to come in. It's nuts. I'll be back at 2.2.
We just hold on to grudges too long. I went out with this guy for 3 years. Great guy, great relationship, but he cheated on me. But ladies, do we ever really forget that shit? Hell no. Every time we got into an argument, I brought that shit right back up. We could be arguing over glue. I'm like, nah, because you fucked that bitch when you was fucking with me. He couldn't get away with shit. He'd be like, yo, baby, you know we out of cookies. What? Did that bitch eat them cookies? Let me find out that bitch ate them cookies. I'm fucking you and that bitch up. We too fucking emotional, ladies. We too emotional. We the only species that will shoot our man 6 times, and we will go to that nigga funeral and be like, oh, why? Why he make me shoot him? We too fucking emotional. You know we too emotional when there's women out there cutting dicks off. I know it wasn't no sister. Only white girls do that shit, because a sister ain't gonna cut no dick off. We might throw some grits on your ass. We might bust you in the back with a 2x4 while you're pissing. That's a new one right there. We ain't gonna cut the dick off, you know what I'm saying? Cause our anger turn into passion. We might wanna fuck later, you know what I'm saying? But we can't, cause we sit in the emergency room with your dick on ice. That ain't right. You need to calm the fuck down. And we too fucking picky too, ladies. Picky ladies. Picky and lonely are best friends and the enemy of happiness. I sat down and wrote down a list of qualities that I wanted from a man. The type of man that's going to sweep me off my feet. The type of man that's going to take me there. And when I finish that list, that motherfucker too good for me. I need to get my shit together. Work a couple of things out. Because I get tired of hearing women complain about their man. They got a man, I ain't got no man, and you complaining. I don't want to be with him no more. Why? This nigga good to you. He got your back. He does nice things for you. He take you to nice places. So what, this nigga got a wooden foot? What if you sitting at a picnic one day? Somebody start up a kickball game. Now you got the best nigga on your team. Me and y'all do the same shit. Complain about your woman a straight soldier, got your back. Wash your stanky, dirty ass drawers. So what, that bitch got a wandering eye? What if you need security one day? That bitch can watch your back. She can roll a blunt and change lanes at the same time. That's a bad motherfucker. Now you jocking. It's hard, man. It's hard, especially for women. You know, it's hard for us, because you know what I really want? You know what I really want, sister? You know what I really want? God damn, I'm sweating like a hoe in church. I am a hoe in church. But But you know what I really want, ladies? You know what I really want? I won't get fucked good. Hello. Ain't nobody trying to get fucked good up in mixed nuts. I won't get fucked so good that a brother just fuck away all my hopes and dreams, all my ambitions. He just fucks them all away. He be like, yo, baby, I thought you was going to work. Nigga, I called in sick. Shit. You are the shit. I swear to God. I'm gonna quit school because I can't do it all. Can't fuck you, go to school. Can't fuck you, go to school. You know what I'm saying? Ow! Brother just fuck you so good you just want to buy that nigga something. Ah! Ah, nigga, you don't need no tires. You don't need your cell phone cut on, you know. Just keep fucking me like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising is back in the building. Foxxhole Radio. I'm on with my good friend Larry Grover Washington. I just got to say his name because it's so royal sound. Larry.
Oh, wow, Zoe.
Grover Washington. Do you understand? He's on the phone. He's a cold piece of work. Love his work. I got to test him, though, because we want the max amount of information out of you, man. Behind every successful man is a woman. So is it true that behind every abused woman is an abused man? Larry, talk to us.
I'd say that there is some matching there. When we would do our groups and the guy would say, hey, my wife is the wife from hell, we would use this analogy. Have you ever seen a drain pipe? Well, you know how a drain pipe, it has that U-joint into it, and you put water in there, and the water kind of reaches this level on both sides. So we tell the guy, is she the wife from hell? Why did you attract her? Typically, people attract a person kind of like them. So when I see people who are incendiary, somewhat insecure, they might attract someone on that level who's not able to negotiate and think.
But Larry, does but doesn't the same idea apply to vice versa? It isn't a woman, like for instance, one of my producers wrote a question right now. Do most women or some women subconsciously seek partners who will abuse them? Shouldn't it be the same? I think on both sides?
I think that is part of it. However, I think that women come into contact with men who have been abused, so we abuse them. So it's kind of like us. We come into contact with white folks who are all pretty much the same. It's not that white folks got abused and they're abusing us. All of them the same. They think that they should run everything.
But let me ask you, let me turn it another way. Are you saying in majority of the cases, women do not bring any of this on to themselves? Couldn't they just have? Of course. I mean, because I'm just saying, men are human beings and men are adults and women got to be adults. And we cannot let them off the hook in thinking that they're just totally innocent of all situations that they find themselves participating in. Right?
I wouldn't say that they're innocent at all. I'm just saying that when we apply force to the situation, there is a lethal, that there can be lethal consequences. So like I tell guys, okay, if you're getting hit, I tell them it would be better to lock yourself in the bathroom or jump through the window than to jump up and make a grandstand play. I'm walking out of the door. All she going to do is jump in front of the door and say, you can't leave. And when he put his hands on it to push out the way, the police going to come and they're going to say, did you put your hands on it? She's going to say, yeah, he put his hand right there.
Okay.
Here,
so
push me
let me give you this. Let me give you this, Larry. I just got to throw myself under the bus. Here we go. Bus time. There have been times where I would have an argument with my girl and I say, I'm out. I'm leaving.
Right.
What kind of pussy ass shit is this? You running from the situation and hey, what happened? So I mean, I had conditioned myself to say, okay, once it gets to a certain point, I'm going to leave. And I got ridiculed and belittled for trying to leave. Talk to me, Larry.
Now, typically that is coached as walking away. However, the deal is that do you want to communicate to your partner that, hey, if I don't get up and leave here right now, I'm going to beat you up?
No, so I don't want to communicate that.
We want to say, what's the next best step? Sure, walking away is one thing, but what's better than that? Sitting down and listening to the person. Now that will deflate the argument more so than jumping up and making a grandstand play.
But Larry, listening skills are learned, and most people don't have very good listening skills. Most people are on a conveyor belt waiting for their turn to talk, and they ain't really listened to 2 syllables you spoke of. So I mean, that is ideal what you're saying. But if we just start grading people on the bell curve of listening, most people are getting D's and F's for listening.
I agree. That's the challenge. That is the ergo is the challenge, is to get someone to say, okay, my partner seems to be having a bad day today. I know they love me. And this was what this psychologist would tell me. He said when his partner's raging at him, he looks at him and says, you know what? I love Mary. I don't like the way she's acting right now, but I do love her. So one has to use some kind of self-talk that redirects the situation.
But that's a high level of consciousness, Larry.
Not necessarily.
That's a high level of consciousness. We got to open a school for that. We got to start sending people to school for that.
If brothers want to stay on the ground and not go to jail and spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, believe me, them brothers that's been in them battering programs and they put their hands on a woman and they now $40,000 light. They don't have no trouble focusing on that. Trust me.
Listen, I want you guys to listen.
$40,000 light.
I want you guys to listen to Brother Larry Grover Washington. The dude is a cold piece of work. You know how I do on The Voice of Reason. I only bring the best and the brightest to the show. Listen to what he's saying. He is offering you information that could keep you out of jail, that could save your life. So, I mean, you might, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because I want to get all of the side angles out so we could get as much information as we possibly can from the brother. Now, I'm told by my producer you have to go.
Oh, no, I can hang in.
Please, because we got phone lines, everything is crazy, and I have a special guest.
One real quick tip. Don't get into intense arguments in kitchens or in restrooms. Because in bathrooms and restrooms, there are a lot of hard surfaces. In kitchens, they're deadly weapons. So avoid intense arguments in those 2 places.
Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. Okay, well, let's get some callers on real quick. And I have a special guest after my next caller that I got to introduce, and I need you to help her, okay?
Very
Larry?
Good. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Rick from Virginia, you're in the building. Talk to us. Tonight's show is heated.
So, Larry, I got a humdinger for you. I teach a lethal weapons course. My partner met a girl who was volatile. He was volatile. After about 4 or 5 months of dating, he asked me to give her instructions so she could get her weapons license. After she got her weapons license, it wasn't a year later, she caught him in a bathroom with another woman, bust the cap in his butt. Went to jail for 3 years. After she got out, he married her. Explain that.
Wow. Well,
I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you how my mentor coached me. If you try to understand domestic violence, you logical. Just like if you try to look at why do we as a people fight for white folks and die for them after they did us the way they've done us, it won't be logical. So why people do what they do in abusive relationships, trying to get the person who abused them to love them. Remember, we are 99.99999% emotional, 1% logical. When the emotional and logical is that choice, what is the human being going to choose? Obviously, we're going to choose the emotional.
Absolutely.
So
let me
don't
do
make
this.
sense. No, it won't make sense. It won't.
So let me do this. Let me do this really quickly. I have a special guest, a young lady. I'm going to let her tell her story. I'm just going to bring her on. Her name is Dariane Hudson. I'm going to let her tell her story. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, in for a treat. She's a special girl. She's a good woman, strong woman. I'm just going to let her tell her story. Dariane, you're on live. Let's go. Me and Larry, we're listening.
Hey, guys. How are you guys?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Dariane, tell the people how we got in contact with each other and your story briefly.
My story is I was the result of an abusive relationship, 13 years even. 13 is not my lucky number. I was in a relationship with an intimate terrorist, I would say, now that I know, and he was also, I would say, he was an emotional rapist. And I was pretty much kind of at this level of fed-upness, and I prayed, and I did all these things that people say, pray and ask and all this, and I just put it out in the universe, sent out, and I saw our brother Zoe on Black Men Revealed, and I thought, oh my God, this guy, he makes it so plain. And you know, somewhere inside him, I guess I wanted to talk to him, and I really did want to talk to him, and I reached out to him, and he reached back, and so here I am. This relationship was not, I mean, I'm listening to you, I'm listening to all the callers, I'm listening to you, Larry, and I'm just like, okay, but do you know, this relationship was not, this guy was not raised from a violent situation, he was not raised in a violent home, he was, educated, he was all these things, he went to high school, graduated, went to college, graduated, and was all these things that was against the stereotype of what a person would be as an abuser, but yet and still, this man decided to punch me in the face, grab me in public, throw me into a chain link fence on one of the busiest days back in Michigan, opening day for baseball, punch me in the face, like I said, grab me by my hair, repeatedly slammed my face into the dashboard of his car while he was driving. Everything around me and everything that was going on, I had no idea, but people were telling me that there was a look on my face of complete terror. There was a look on his face of getting out whatever aggression he was getting out, almost that snide of satisfaction, like, this is what I needed to do. I mean, hell, when he was even interrogated, they were asking him, do you know what you're doing? I guess they go through some sort of preliminary questioning. And he even said, hey, she wouldn't shut up. This is how I can control her. This is what I needed to do to get control of the situation. So, I mean, the end result is I'm here and I'm safe. I'm growing and, I'm here. But I'm listening to you, and if you got anything you have to say, Larry, I'm listening. So I'm already listening. Callers, I'm listening. This situation was very much not what you would think.
So, Larry, what would you say to her right now? Like a course of action, because I've done what I can do. I've talked to her for weeks now, and when I was first talking to her, she was crying every morning, getting up every morning crying, and I've done what I can do. What would you prescribe for her right now, a course of action?
First, I would say call the domestic violence hotline. You can look it up on the internet, the domestic violence hotline. It's a 1-800 number, and talk to some women and have them tell you what to do to make yourself safe. Ultimately, a person can be relocated out of state, unlike witness protection program. There are shelters for women. But first of all, call the domestic violence hotline and find out from women who have survived and thrived in situations just like what you have. That's the formula for success. Find someone who do what you want to do successfully and imitate them. Secondly, the thing about the guy, that's very commonplace. Even I myself, I choked my wife. So it really doesn't have anything to do with background. Domestic violence goes across all cultures. When we have guys in our groups, I say, hey, man, from Sri Lanka, do men over there try to gank women out of sex and control them? They nod their head. I asked the guys from Nigeria, hey, man, do men over there try to gank women out of sex and try to control them? They nod their head. I asked the men from Mexico or wherever. It's the same thing. I've even talked to Asian women in China. They don't have no religion.
Right. It's pervasive all over the world. But the bigger question before we go to break, the bigger question, and we're going to get to all of our callers: Ohio, Atlanta, Maryland, New York, Texas, California. We're going to get to everybody. But Larry, are you still with your wife?
No. See, that's another thing, too. Typically, when there's violence, the relationship is over with, and I agree with what the feminists say. Once there's been violence, the covenant has been broken. The divorce just brings a relationship to an end.
Wow.
So
listen, we gotta take a quick break. Larry, please hold on. Dariane, please hold on. All the callers, I'm coming back to you, 855-369-9898. Another heater. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence in our relationships. ZoMetheus Rising shall return shortly. Holla in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, ZoMetheus Rising back in the building. Is relationship a contact sport? Larry, you done choked us all out real quick with that bombshell you hit us with. My goodness.
Well, thank you.
I just have to.
And the idea is, though, is that, like I keep saying, we do women the way we were done as boys. I remember the big boys picking on me. I remember the big boys beating me up, telling me to shut the fuck up. You know, you can't tell, you can't snitch, you can't cry. All the shit that we do to women, the same thing.
But we got questions. I mean, my whole production staff is in here right now.
Go ahead.
So let me ask you, is your experience with physical violence the reason you take the stance you do now?
Well, oddly enough, I did it first, and then once I got my master's degree, I happened to be looking for work, and I called a domestic violence place by mistake, went there by mistake, started working, but I made the connection because when I was younger, I wanted to be a Black Panther. So I knew all this stuff about racism, and it was very easy for me to understand, well, racism and sexism is like twins. So then when I started teaching the curriculum, I started understanding, damn, I did this. Dang, I did this. Dang, I did this. They could never do nothing right. Same way white folks do us. Men do us. You know, when they jam us, we can't never do nothing right. You know, so I started seeing how the way I had been socialized, anybody that came into contact with me, I was going to try to control them. And it ain't power and control, it's more power and privilege. We as men, we want submission.
But wait a minute, Larry. Let me interject for 1 second. You do know that there is inherent power in relationships. And a lot of times that power can be taken away through different means. The person who controls the money can take away the financial power. The person who does the silent treatment can use the silent treatment to take away certain power. Some people use violence to take away power. Power is inherent in relationships. So my question to you is, because we have to let people be responsible for what it is that they bring to the table. If you're with a guy that is violent or temperamental or has a temper, are you not somehow responsible if you're constantly pushing his buttons to get him to do the things you want him to do?
Sure, I tell my clients that he is responsible for his behavior. She is responsible for her behavior. He can get treatment. However, him not hitting her is not dependent on her changing.
Right. And vice versa.
And that is the key. Each person's resistance or willingness not to use violence, because if we're going to say, hey, we're using violence because there are unpleasant people around and unpleasant experiences, we'd be beating up folks every day.
That's true. Dariane, I know you're still on the line, right?
Hello.
Dariane? Yes, good. Talk to me about your relationship with your guy, and did you see signs beforehand that, like, oh, maybe this guy's a little off kilter, maybe he might do something to me? What were you seeing? What were you experiencing in that 13-year relationship, especially towards the end?
I can say, well, first I wanted to comment on the responsibility factor. Through that, I was able to see there are times where, you do push a button and you can say, okay, these are areas of manipulation. Through your help and through the help of the domestic hotline and my research so far, I've been able to see that there are those areas. But the signs that you don't see are the subtle things, as I wrote in my article here, that there are subtle signs of verbal abuse that I even heard as my girlfriends and my friends, and Larry, you might be able to agree to this as well, that you hear those things where you old hag and you shut the hell up, you old fat rat, and those little subtle things start, and you excuse them because he's just mad right now, he's having a bad day, all those little elements that you want to try to keep in consideration because you love him, because he loves you, but there's those little small things where he controls the money. And you don't realize it because, okay, well, he's better at finances than I am because he has an education or he has a degree or he took accounting and he passed and I didn't. So
did you find yourself, Dariane, did you find yourself kind of tolerating some of his antics because you were dependent on him?
And you begin to do that because you do need, it's like the UCLA video stated that it's an interdependency. He relies on you to keep the house clean or he relies on you to look good when you represent him. He relies on you for these other elements at the same time. But unfortunately, it's mismatched because you're relying on him to maintain your life because most of us live with the man. Right, he doesn't live with us. We live with him.
So
to get a car without a cosigner. You know, most of us have something where we need him so much more than he needs us on that very level.
So let's do this. I want you to stay on with us, Dariane, and I'm going to take a couple of calls right now. I think it's important that we do that. How many of you out there have gotten back with your partner after domestic abuse occurred? Because I don't agree with Mr. Larry. He's a good friend of mine, but I don't agree. I got a friend, Chuck Singleton. I did a TV show, Black Man Revealed, with him. He told me before, man, there's a lot of people in his congregation that have gotten back together, and he told me about an old couple. He said, man, there's an old man and an old woman in my church. I said, okay, what happened? What's their story? He said, the old lady has a scar down the side of her face. And I said, well, how did she get it? He said, her husband cut her. Right? And then he was like, and if you think that's bad, she shot him. And he said, if you see them today, they're together. They got more love for each other than anybody in this church. And better not nobody say nothing bad about the Jacksons. Right? And he said, man, don't think that domestic violence is the thing that can tear your relationship apart. And research shows that 50%, this research was done out of UCLA, 50% of newlyweds experience domestic violence before they get married and then go on to have successful relationships. So we can't take an extremist view, and everybody knows, not to disrespect the feminists. We're going to have a feminist show coming real soon. We can't act as if the feminists don't have real extreme portions to their philosophy. We can't. We can't look at it as a balanced philosophy. I'm going to callers. Mo from California, you're in the building? Who do we have? Oh, Max from Maryland. Let's go. Max?
I mean, I love your show. I'm hooked to your show, man. But check this out. This whole relationship thing is about leverage. That's what it's about. Okay, who has it? Who doesn't? I mean, you know, in my particular situation where, you know, my wife had it at the time. She had it, and, you know, she abused it. She would go out and hang out all night, come back the next day, and she knew I wasn't going to hit her. She knew I wasn't going to do anything that was going to be detrimental to her health. She knew that. So she could just do whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. So, I mean, that's what it came down to. So, you know, she did that, and she played games with me, made me think that she was out with her ex-boyfriend. I mean, but to wrap it up, it's all about leverage, man. That's what it's all about.
I agree. No, I agree. One of my friends, longtime friend of mine, is tweeting, is at Reginald King. He says, some women think it's masculine to be abusive. That speaks to their independence. Who agrees or disagrees? 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Fidel from New York. What you talking about, man?
Brother. Yeah, definitely love your shows, though. And my comment was, I had a couple strange experiences. Like when I was young, I was really young. I had a girlfriend, and she said, if you don't hit me, you're not a real man. And I was a kid. I was like,
she said, if you don't hit me, you're not a real man. She said that to you? 855-369-9898. Somebody call me. There's a pathology out here. Let's go.
Because I told her that, I would never hit a girl. So she would do stupid stuff like just step on my foot. So when she said I'm not a real man if I don't hit her, if she stepped on my foot, I would step on her foot as hard as possible. So luckily that didn't turn into a trend of mine, or, I never continued. The relationship ended. I moved out of the country, actually. But later on, I had another relationship where one incident occurred where I wanted to sleep, and, I was up for 24 hours, and this woman was just driving me crazy. And I got up, I roared like the Incredible Hulk. I picked her up off her feet in the air with one arm. She was a pretty big girl, like 6'1", 240 maybe. And she was so shocked, that I could the display of strength that I showed had peace in my relationship for about 3 months. She said, "You're crazy." She called me crazy.
So let me just do this. Let me do this really quickly. Hold on. Let me just do this really quickly. Are you saying that some women respond kindly to a little male lion roar? Is that what you're saying?
Unfortunately, I think that, it was scary to me, the fact that after all the conversations and all the talking and so many things that I tried with her in a relationship to get respect, to show her just be mutually respectful, stop being the way you are. The only thing that actually worked, even though it was very brief, was that display of strength. I didn't hurt the woman, but I just, displayed my strength, and she was like,
Well, listen, Fidel, let me do this. We got to take a quick break, man, but I appreciate you for reaching out. We got another caller online? We don't. We definitely got to take a quick break. Oh, I was just telling him that because Fidel was just a little long-winded. I love you, Fidel, but we just, But I think that there is a real break happening. Oh, we could take one more. Good. Okay. Sorry, Fidel. Just call me back next week, man. I love you too. Mo from California, holla at me, big pimp.
Hey, how's it going? Oh
man, we having a great show, as you can see.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of the different topics, and actually, what I wanted to bring out is that, in my past, I have found out that I used to attract a lot of women who were victims of domestic violence. Now, the irony of that, unfortunately, is I found out a lot of those women that I dealt with in the past, when it came time to have an argument, they themselves acted out violently towards me. So I found it was ironic that here I am trying to establish trust within you, trying to show you that there are guys out there who don't have to use their hands and abuse you, and the first thing that happens when we get into an argument or a dispute is you're trying to go inside my head.
And
well,
I think there
are a lot of guys out there that
you know what?
That's that, but they don't talk about it.
And you know what? That's a great point. We talked about that earlier. There's something out there called a conflict tactics survey. And again, it has identified women as being more violent than men. But the reason why it's a controversial survey is because it doesn't account for impact, which is what Larry was speaking about today. When it comes to violent interactions between men and women, when men get violent, men break women. When women get violent, men absorb their violence. So what he's saying from the feminine perspective is we should be able to absorb their violence, take all that they have to offer, whether it be emotional, verbal, or whatever, jump through the window, he said earlier. We should be able to do all of these things in order to prevent us from retaliating. Is this not correct, Larry?
I wouldn't say that.
Actually, well, you did say. I just paraphrased everything you said.
No. I said about jump through the window, yeah, but I'm not telling men to be chumps. I'm not telling men to be suckers. What I'm saying is that they really have to think and not be in the moment and saying that I didn't know what else to do. Too many women are getting killed in society.
No, he's right, though.
Too many people are losing their mothers and their sisters and stuff, and men are just murdering women. Now, like I said, what helped me to understand it is the white on black thing. You know, there are white people that would love to bring about an apocalyptic race war so they can retaliate against us. They would love that. There are men who would love for women to do something to them so they can lash out against women.
But does that same perspective go both ways?
Well, remember, men have more power than women. It's kind of disingenuous.
There might be some women out there that disagree with you. We got to hang on 1 second, Larry. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second, Larry. We got to take a quick break. I need you to come back. Just come back with me, Larry. 855-369-9898. This show is so great. Larry is one of our best guests ever. I think y'all don't understand it. Larry, I wish you could see inside the studio. Maybe one day we could get the Ustream up in here so you could just see everybody is riveted to every word you're saying. We're all listening. 855-369-9898 is the number to dial. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence in our relationship. Larry, please hang on. Darian, please hang on. Callers from Philly, from Toronto, from California, from New Mexico, from Detroit, from Oakland, from Philly. Everybody is in the building. Hold tight. We getting to you. 855-369-9898. I'll be back at 2.2. ZoMetheus Rising, Voice of Reason. Foxxhole Radio. Deuces. Ladies and gentlemen, ZoMetheus Rising, the Voice of Reason, back in the building. Tonight's topic, if you're just tuning in, is relationship a contact sport, a deeper look into violence. You know, in our relationships, man. It's a cold topic, man. Having a great time. Got great guests. Dariane Hudson. She reached out to me on Facebook. It's crazy, man. She's going through hell and high water. Shit, I ain't no counselor. I tried to do the best I could do. You know, she's online with us right now. We appreciate having her, as well as my good friend Larry Grover Washington Jr. He's in the building, and he's providing a lot of, you know, something we can chew on, a lot of food that we can chew on for this, man. And we really appreciate you being on the show. We got a whole, the phone lines have been on fire all night long. 855-369-9898. That's the number to dial. Before I get to the callers really quickly, I just want to say that there are some fighting myths for the male victim. Men are expected to take responsibility for violence and abuse, but no excuses are accepted, right? Right. Yet when a female is violent, society provides a list of excuses. Postnatal depression, stress, PMS, eating disorders, personality disorders, menopause, addiction, childhood traumas, provocation, self-defense, etc., etc. Men can't use any excuses. We're going to let all the callers get in with you, Larry, on this. When a woman is violent and abusive in a relationship, it is not necessarily assumed that she is a bad mother or a bad person in the relationship that instigated the violence that happened. I always say people have limits. Even, the most peaceful person in the world, if you push them into the corner where they feel like they're bereft of personal power, when you push them into the corner where they feel like they can't control their own movements, when you use verbal abuse to where you devalue a person from the inside out with your words, a person only has, I always say everybody is a volcano. Everybody's clock is ticking. They can only deal with so much. And then they explode. They act out. It doesn't mean the way they act out is justified. They're responsible for how they act out, but people have limits and should not be pushed to those limits by the people who love them the most. How about that? 855-369-9898. Somebody call me and let me know what's going on. Larry, you have a quick statement to make before we get to Don in Philly?
Sure. Really, like I said, try to understand that no violence is justified in any relationship. There should be no violence, no hitting, and the emotional abuse is actually worse. Just like how white people think about us hurts us more than anything, how men think about women hurts them more than anything. That's why I keep going back, tying it to racism, because we know how, as a people, white people always want to get us. They always think it's our fault.
And so women are thinking men are always trying to get us. It's always his fault?
Well, wait. Remember,
ladies and gentlemen, if you agree or disagree with Larry, call us right now, 855-369-9898. Go ahead, Larry.
It's a man's world. It's not a woman's world. It's a man's world.
Okay, well, Dariane wants to speak to you. Dariane, speak to Larry.
Go ahead.
I'm listening, and okay. So it sounds as if there's some, there's some predisposition that there's something that's supposed to happen because you're Iron Man. Hear me roar! I beat your chest. I'm strong. Stay with your chest. You're this guy. You're this massive amount of what? That because of that you are by default stronger. You're much more stronger, and by default there's some sort of predisposition that says if I press that limit, then by defunctive human nature I'm going to get slapped. It just sounds like and I mean
it does sound like a grand generalization, but go deeper.
It's coming. I'm listening, and you pose the question that are there some sort of subconscious attraction. I don't want to say that I drew myself to someone who ended up telling me that they love me but they hurt me, because at the same time, you have your mother, your family, like you said, you take it back to your family, your home, your upraising. Your mom throws shoes at you and beat you, but she said, I'm only doing this because I love you, honey. I'm whooping your ass because I love you. So therefore, am I already accustomed to getting beat up because love?
That's a good point.
Now, let me expound on that point just a second. There are black sociologists who believe that we as black people use more violence against each other because more violence was used on us. And we know that we kill each other more than any other race. We also hit and abuse each other more so than any other ethnic group. So that is one of the points of the whole deal.
Wow, that's a good point. Let's do this really quickly. We've got to get to our callers. They've been waiting to talk to you guys. Are you guys ready to open up and expound? Dawn from Philly, thank you for holding on. Let's talk, Dawn.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
I'm one of the women. I want to say I've been lucky enough. I want to say maybe I was raised by strong parents, that I never had to go through an abusive relationship. Coming from a woman's perspective, I think men know who they can target. as someone said before, like you can target the weak, the weak puppy, or just like some women choose the weak man. I think personally, it all depends on how you were raised.
But see, let me just say this really quickly. Don, hold on really quickly. Let me just say this real quick. I think we're mixing it up. It was Michael Johnson, who's a sociologist, who created the different tiers. There's something called intimate partner violence, IPV. There's something else called common couple violence. There's something else called intimate terrorism. Intimate terrorism is the batterer. This is the guy who says, who did you call? Give me your goddamn cell phone. How much money you got? Give me your purse. And under all of this is under the threat of violence. If you talk to your mama and tell her what's going on in our house, I'm going to beat the Kool-Aid up out you. That's the intimate terrorist. Then you have common couple violence. I need my guests to just hold on and listen to me really quickly. Then you have common couple violence and intimate partner violence, which is a type of violence that typically emerges from arguments, disagreements, stress, intolerance of some, not being able to communicate, that kind of stuff, to where you just tolerate so much and then you blow, you just pop. Oh, wow, there was violence. That doesn't make that person a batterer. That doesn't make that person an intimate terrorist. To go back to the UCLA study that we spoke of, there's a book out there called Intimate Relationships by Benjamin Carney, right? Go get the book. It's an $80 textbook. You can get it on Amazon. And it talks about the different tiers of violence. I think because OJ was a media frenzy, that, the biggest trial of the century, that now everybody's perspective is that every form of violence is intimate terrorism. Was Cuba Gooding Jr., who was just running from the law a couple of days ago, an intimate terrorist because he pushed the bartender? No, he probably was pissed off. Does it make it right? No. We're not justifying any form of violence, because every form of violence could result, if it's coming from a man to a woman, could result in her death. Whether it's common couple violence or intimate partner violence or intimate terrorism. But we have to make a delineation. Not everybody is an intimate terrorist. An intimate terrorist is when the relationship SWAT team has got to fly into this house and extricate this battered woman and hide her somewhere. That's an intimate terrorist. Not all forms of relationship violence goes under that category, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta make the distinction. Don, finish your point.
I'll definitely agree with that, because some people, like you said before, it's limits. You can't push somebody to the edge.
Thank you.
I'm not going to blow up on you. I mean, I don't care if you're at work, you're at the job, wherever you are. You know what I mean? You could just be in traffic. I've seen it happen both ways. He would have to push you as well.
Absolutely. What was that, Darian? What were you saying, Darian? Go ahead.
I was just chiming in to say that would have to go both ways. To make it clear, my relationship was common couple violence that led to intimate terrorists. So in that regard, the violence that limitation, Don, will have to go both ways. He can push your buttons like you can push his. And if you don't back the up off of me, I'm going to slap you with my shoe. Unfortunately, if he slaps you, you're in the hospital and being x-rayed. And unfortunately, if you slap him, it's like his mama did.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It. Unfortunately, you go to the hospital.
That's a good point. Larry?
Yes, domestic violence literature clearly delineates that. That's why I said call the domestic violence hotline and check with IDVAC, which is the African American Institute, the Institute for Domestic Violence in the African American Community. It starts out emotional and then it goes to physical. So first there's the devaluing, objectification of the person, just like we were called niggers, and then they treated us like that. Women are called bees, and then they treat them like that. So it's the same pattern.
But women call men bees too.
Well, it doesn't.
You acting like a little bitch because you don't want to have this conversation.
Well, sure, there's going to be intimidation, and we tell our batterers once they have offended, I tell them, expect the universe to test you out and see if you are now able to control yourself. So sure,
that's good stuff.
You to be tested. The universe is going to test you. That's right.
Good.
We want to know if we can be safe now. That's right.
That's good. Stay with us. We got callers. Is relationship a contact sport? This show is off the chain. A deeper look at violence in our relationships. 855-369-9898. Please call us right now. Get to your phone lines. It's imperative that you get down with us. Gio from L.A., you're on. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, Zoe? What's going on, everybody?
All right.
Yeah, man. I just from my point of the relationship that I was in coming up, everybody has their limits, and a lot of times, some people just come from a violent background.
Okay, I think we lost Gio. That's too bad. We're going to go to John from Texas. Or Darren. Sorry, we're going to go to Darren. Darren from California. Let's go. Darren, you're on.
Hey, all right, so, man, this well, y'all been at it for a minute. But I'm going to just say off the top, the best thing to do, like I was in a relationship with a female, my girl, she'd take and throw your hand in the air and then run and jump right in front of it.
What? What? And I hope we didn't lose him. Where is he? Darren, is he there? I hope we didn't lose him because this was about to be off he dropped. Lord have mercy, Jesus, and then some. What in the feast of... Please call back, brother, please. Before we take a quick break, let me do this. There are different types of domestic violence tactics. You have physical tactics, pushing and shoving, restraining, pinching or pulling hair, slapping, punching, biting, kicking, suffocating, strangling, using a weapon, kidnapping, physically abusing or threatening to abuse children. Then there's sexual tactics, raping or forcing the victim into unwanted sexual practices, objectifying or threatening the victim to do a particular sexual act or use an object or something. Then you force the victim to have an abortion or sabotaging birth control methods. These are all sexual tactics right here. Engaging in a pattern of extramarital or other sexual relationships is a form of violence, especially if it's unprotected sex and you bring in something back. That's a form of abuse. 855-369-9898. Really quickly, before I go to break, I got to hit the verbal, emotional, and psychological tactics. Using degrading language, insults, criticism, or name-calling, screaming, harassing, refusing to talk. 855-369-9898. Somebody call me when I come back. I'm coming back. I got to take a break. Is relationship a contact sport? A deeper look at violence and relationship. ZoWilliams, Voice of Reason, will be back. Talk to you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, Zometheus Rising, the Voice of Reason, has returned to the Foxxhole. And let me just say this really quickly, man. We're human beings. We all get angry. We're all flawed. We all have bad communication skills. And, you know, I love my guests that are on tonight. Dariane Hudson, sister, just reached out to me in a time where it just really reaffirmed that I have a voice and I have a platform that can help someone. And I appreciate her for being on the show tonight, as well as Larry Washington Jr. And I appreciate you too, brother, for being on. If you're just tuning in, tonight's topic is relationship a contact sport, or deeper look at violence in our relationships? And we're humans. And we cannot say, and I know the stats bear out that 95% of all domestic violence cases are perpetuated by men to women. But the women are on the rise. Let's not marginalize the male victim in this scenario. Women are on the rise. They got their own TV show called Snapped. They be killing folks up now. They done killed some folk up. And women be tripping, and we got to make them as responsible. Relationship is a two-way street. It is not unidirectional, it is bidirectional. And this is what I mean by non-gender bidirectionality. To trivialize somebody in a relationship, that isn't just a male thing to a woman. Women trivialize men too, right? To discount your partner's perspective, that isn't just a man thing to a woman. Women discount men too. You see what I'm saying? Withholding. We're talking about the precursors of verbal abuse here. I'm going to withhold something. I'm going to deceive you. And certain people just don't have skills, especially if you come from an abused home, an abused situation, or a home that had everything you needed as far as physical or material things, but didn't have everything you need as far as emotional or mental or psychological. You understand what I'm saying here, Larry? Does that make any sense?
Well, sure it does.
You know, judging and criticizing isn't just a man thing to a woman. Women judge and criticize men. Under-threatening, name-calling, chronic forgetting, ordering and demanding, denial of anger and abuse. Ah, boy, I just slapped you there. You should be able to take that. You know, that don't mean nothing.
Well, those things that you were talking about earlier about women doing this and doing that and getting away with this and getting away with that, that's not black women, though. Now, remember now, don't get it twisted. White women get away with that, not black women. Remember, when black women kill their husbands, they get lethal. They go to jail. When
black women go to jail,
their husbands, they say domestic violence syndrome. So let's not get that twisted now. We are treated differently by the system, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We all know that.
But you're right about that. You're talking about
that's white women. That's not sisters who's getting away with that.
Right, and you're right about that. You're talking about the racial gender or the racial judicial gender bias. I get it. It's a racial bias, judicial bias. But then there's also a racial gender bias where men and women are judged differently. You can look at that through the child support. Typically, in the child support situation, men pay more, women pay less. Even when men don't pay, men go to jail. It takes a whole hell of a lot for a judge to send a mama to jail because she didn't pay child support. There is a gender judicial bias, just like there is a racial judicial bias. So don't just make it, our women don't get in trouble. Hey, the bottom line is, male victims are out there, and they come from all walks of life, and we have to acknowledge them just like we're acknowledging these women. Women are smacking the shit out of men because they know culturally it ain't cool for men to put their hands on women. So women are pushing the boundaries in certain areas, and you're not acknowledging it, Larry. I need you to.
Well, sure, that may happen. However, again, the majority of violence actually is male on male. It's not actually male on female. Remember, women kill children. All you got to do is look at the statistics.
Women kill who?
Women kill children. Men kill men, then men kill women, but women are the perpetrators of killing children.
So women are cold pieces of work up in this piece, man. We cannot let them off the hook this evening, Larry. We just cannot.
I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm just saying that. Now, for what I watched that show Snap too, and I'm gonna tell you something. I said, if a brother marry a white woman, hey man, you're a brave brother. I ain't bullcorning. Sisters ain't killing brothers like that. Every now and then you see a sister on Snap, but sisters ain't doing that. They ain't doing it. And you
let's ask our resident sister. Let's ask
black women hiring a black man, making love to him, and then they killing the black man for the money. You don't see that.
You don't see that. I have to agree. You don't see that. Let's ask our resident female who's on the phone with us right now, Dariane Hudson. If you're just tuning in, Dariane Hudson is a sister who reached out to me on Facebook. She was going through a very, very traumatic situation, and I tried my best to kind of point her in the right direction on healing herself first, because she was dealing with a lot of hurt. As a matter of fact, the day I actually talked to her was the court date. She was supposed to be at the court date, and she decided not to go to court. Could you go deeper into the story?
Okay. Thank you for criticism. I decided not to go into court for my own sanity and my own safety. I was still afraid. I'm still afraid. I'm still going through it. I'm still going through it. I'm still working through it. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel that there was any system, anything that was going to be able to really protect me. Really, you're saying the white women can do, can get back at the men and the black women. We don't do that. At the same time, Larry, I did also, as a black woman, did not feel secure in this system that was supposed to protect me and supposed to make sure, every time I called, I had issues getting through and getting information that I'm supposed to have.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So,
that's an issue.
I didn't attend court. I got text messages and things afterwards, like, thanks for helping them dodge a bullet. And that's at the same time, I tried to pray. I did a couple of different areas of putting my faith and belief that it's just not my revenge for me. And I have to literally, as Zoe said, heal myself. One of the things that I have been able to learn through his semi-counseling was to unwrite the script that man put in my head. I can no longer believe the things that he said to me, because you're not touching on the fact that there's a lot of brainwashing that goes along with that, Larry. There's a lot of reconditioning those lessons that you learn, and if that man, and those men are prayers and hunters, and those men are just like guys out here hunting, for the food we eat, and if you take it back to the Neanderthal times, they're just like those men out there, except they're looking for that insecure, that woman that they can conquer in whatever area. Not to say that they're totally insecure women, but whatever area of insecurity that existed. And for me, I didn't have a father growing up, so he can come in as a father, and he can come in and provide some parental support and things I would be missing. And by default from that, he has an upper hand. So you want to touch on some things. Touch on the fact that there's a lot of brainwashing. These guys are methodical, and they think about, how can I conquer this mountain? Not only sexually get that booty and walk around with this arm piece, because I'm fine as a dime, don't play. But and still have control over this woman. Larry, what I call it, you want to look up a book, wait till I write mine, The Pretty Girl Syndrome. It's the shit we go through because we're so pretty, because you look halfway decent, you don't have anything, and the worst thing about you is that you just don't feel all the way there yet. And here this guy comes on his emotional white horse and sweeps you off your feet by making you feel good because you have all these absent holes in your life.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. I appreciate that information. This is what we're going to do. We're going to rattle off these callers. Callers, please limit your response to about 30 seconds. I know you've been hanging on for a while, waiting to really get it off. But please, we got to do this really quickly. I want to go to the guy that was on the longest right now. This is out of the country, John from Toronto, all the way up in Canada. Let's go, John.
Hey, yo, am I on there now?
Yeah, you're here with us live. Let's go.
I got a question, kind of off the grid, kind of on topic but off topic at the same time.
Okay.
I just started dating this girl, right? And then we getting real close and everything, but she wants me to be like kind of physical in the bedroom, right? And like she's taking it to the next level kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I ain't really comfortable with that, right? Like, how do I tell her that that ain't my kind of thing?
I think maybe you should just tell her. Maybe you should just tell her that's not my style.
Just like that.
Just like that. The way you just said it. Maybe, hey, that's just not my style.
But like, I'm digging this girl and I want to make it go. Like, I want to make this work, but.
Hey, listen, let me give you this, because this is a little off topic. Let me just give you this. Don't do anything that isn't in alignment with your true self. If that's not what you're down with, you shouldn't be afraid to lose the girl. The fact that you're afraid to lose the girl means you're working at half-man impulse. Okay? You're at half impulse right now. You should be able to be real. And this is what I tell, this is the thing that I tell a lot of men all the time. Truth is the essence of masculinity. I've been a liar for many years. And let me tell you, it is the most unlike man feeling you can have when you lie. Because you got to keep maintaining it. It gets messy. It gets whacked. You look disingenuous. You look unauthentic. And at some point, unsexy. A woman loves it when you box her in with the truth of who you are. I don't believe in Christmas. I don't believe in holidays. I'm not celebrating nothing, but I like you. Now, what you gonna do about it? Damn it, I love this man. That's where they at. You just gotta be real. When you real, they love you, say they love you to death. When you fake, they find ways to piss you off. Because they're gonna keep testing the fences. There's something fake about dudes. Let me throw a little cherry bomb question out there to see how he responds. There's something off kilter. They're gonna keep pushing the fences. And the next thing you know, you're gonna have her choked up somewhere. 855-369-9898. Mike from Brooklyn, talk.
Yo, what's up, Joe?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Oh, man. All right. I'm just going to put it on the table right now. I was dating this chick in Florida. I'm from Brooklyn, but I was in Florida at the time dating this chick. And basically, she wakes me up in the morning because she found a text message from a girl that was in New York asking me, when I'm going to come back to see her. Mm-hmm. And right hand up to God, man, I was good to her. Things escalated from there. I told her, I'm not messing around with you. So, basically, she said,
honestly, I don't remember exactly what she said, but she kind of cursed me out, like. So I got up off the bed. I took all the covers off the bed and I slammed it on the floor. And I'm like, yo, I'm not effing around with you. And I admit that I could have handled it differently, but that's what I did. And so basically she got to my face like she was a man. You know what I mean? And she took my hand. She took her hand. She basically snuffed me. So I snuffed her right back. So then she...
No, but you're a punk. You're a punk for snuffing her back. That's the... What? But you know what? Is this not the double standard? You're a punk for snuffing her back, right?
Yes.
No, I admit that I was wrong for that. You know.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dude. Just like Larry said earlier, the moment you retaliate, that's when you invalidate your stance, and it's whack. Yeah. It's hard to not do that. But listen, I everybody out there got a big mama. My big mama told my aunties some stuff when I was eavesdropping, shouldn't have been listening, but heard it all. Don't go looking for something, because whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it. And don't start nothing with a man in the space that a man is dominant in. If you get in a man's face and try to slap box with him, that's what he do in the street. With the homies. I tell girls this all the time. I tell my daughter this. I say, listen, how long do you think it's going to take for two dudes to get into a fight on the basketball court after arguing with each other? One dude elbowed him, the other dude elbowed back. They arguing. How long do you think it's going to take to get into a fight? Oh, about 10 seconds, and it's on and cracking. Now, if you're doing the same thing if you're doing the same thing in the relationship, talking to this dude the same way, he's tolerating tens of thousands of times what he would tolerate from a man. At some point, you got to say, I'm over the line. Human beings have lines, especially men. It's the bottom line. Where are we at? Time? Oh, it's time for me to wrap the show. Can I take one more caller? Please? Oh, okay. All right. We're in trouble. Let me just do this. I'm having such a good time tonight. The show was so fire. Larry, I need them to be able to find you, brother. Where can they find you? Website?
I can be found under LarryWashington.com. You can look me up on the internet. You can also look me up under Solutions Health and Rehab.
I'm going to be calling Larry every day. That's how that's going to go.
Look me up, and my business number is 972-780-5160. And just thank you for the opportunity. And I want to let men know, like I said, I'm not telling men to be abused, and I'm not telling women to be abused. However, I believe that once one discerns that the relationship is toxic and provocateur, it's incumbent on that person.
Provocateur, I love that.
To move out. It's incumbent, because don't want to say, I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
Hey, thank you very much, though.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for hanging on there. And Dariane, thank you, brother. God bless you, too. And Dariane, you have a blog. Where is your blog space where people can find you?
I am at thedreamer.besocialmag.com.
There it is. Hey, I appreciate you, Dariane. I know it was kind of tough, doing this. You were going to break down, but I'm glad you didn't break down. You held it together. I appreciate you. And let me just say, I appreciate God for sending you to me so I can help you, so I can help you do what you need to do. So I hope all is well with you in your life, and let's keep it cracking. Everybody, follow me at ZoWilliams, Twitter. Follow at ZoWilliams, Twitter, and I will be getting at you guys next week with another Heat Rock. It's kind of what I do. Get used to it. See you next week. Deuces. Holla.